still find the phenomena we see today, quiet quitting, of course, which is, on the news and late night talk shows, because it's as relevant and permeating through, the fabric of society as much as ever. And so they can hide because they don't want to do this anymore. Whatever this is, whoever they need to be to do that is too sometimes draining and exhausting. This is a complex phenomenon that we've seen really emerge even more significantly post-pandemic.
So you mentioned quiet quitting. Let's quickly talk about that. Number one, is it real, and how do you combat that, particularly in a remote environment?
Yeah, is it real? So it is a new version of what was called in the 1990s, as this began to be investigated, presenteeism, a form of absenteeism, which was studied quite a bit in the 80s, and turnover. And then we started studying presenteeism, which is that I show up every day, but I'm not doing the job. That's evolved into what we now see today as quiet quitting. It's very real. It may be affecting as much as 20 or 30% of the workforce. This is millions of people. Yeah. And most organizations, of any considerable size, by the time you're at the 40 or 50 employees, it's hard for you, the CEO, the business owner, to know everyone, to know what they're doing. Certainly in a remote world, it's impossible. And so they can't hide. So it's very real. The problem is that it is a result, and in a sense, it's a symptom of what's been this latent problem in employment, really, for the better part of the century. We're all living in a sort of a vestigial tale of the Ford assembly line. Like, that's kind of who figured out how to create business, and it worked. And so we were able to model that to individuals who are highly complex and emotional and creative. But I just want you to put the thumbtack, on the tail, on the Eeyore, and that's it, right? And some variation of that as we've gotten out of manufacturing, but ultimately we're sort of doing the same thing. This is not what humans are built to do, and that's very hard. And then what happens is it's very good at creating an organization that produces profit, but it's equally as good as producing an organization that produces discontent, distrust, disease, actually manifesting physically. Physical ailments manifest when I'm stressed, from my experience. So very real, very happening. And I think people are backing out of this modern American phenomenon in many ways, of hustle culture. And I appreciate that, and you can, and certainly maybe your audience of CEOs, business owners, business starters, that we're hustlers, right? In varying degrees, we have a velocity and a momentum that the rest of the planet or our team doesn't have. But the expectation that everyone's got to be in the hustle, right, is exhausting for many. It's certainly at odds with European mindset, although there's some phenomena happening there. And so what's happening now is that people are frustrated with hitting a wall, not getting support, guidance, or the direction of their career that they want. Maybe they're not even doing the job that they like, or even the people that they know enough to like them. I'm not even getting that. So very real. It's very serious, and it's not going to go away on Thursday.
So what's like a couple of quick tips? We actually probably covered some, which is first, ensure there's a good fit, right?
Yeah.
What are some other things that companies could be doing to prevent this, that business leaders can be doing to prevent it?
Right. So I think the most powerful tool is the question. It's relatively cheap and easy to just start asking and leaning into. Why did you join? Why have you stayed? Why would you leave? This trifecta, which is the world's simplest stay interview, is something I teach all over the world, and in many conferences or keynotes that I do. But here, let your audience have it. But just those three questions can open up a pretty significant conversation with my direct report. And ultimately, what you're looking for is, is there something you need that you're not getting here? Because if I can provide what you need to my team, to my support staff, my directors, my managers, if they're getting what they need from this organization, then why would they leave?
Right.
Why wouldn't they do their best? Because it's a feedback loop for them. They just get more of what they want. Right. They just get more of it every time they give more. So looking for the antenna to be up for, you're listening as you're asking those three questions. what do you need? Can I give you something that you want that's important to you? Do I have access to that? And maybe it's simple. Maybe it's a computer upgrade, a monitor, flexible work arrangements, parent care, child care, adjustments in work schedule or benefits, or a new task, job, or personal professional development.